What's up, guys? Back at it again with more Jujutsu Kaisen content, and that's right, we're doing the bonus round for the Curse Technique Tournament, and we're going to do the Disaster Spirits, the spirit of fire, lava, volcanoes, the spirit of hot stuff versus the spirit of wet stuff, and the spirit of green stuff. That's what we're doing. So, to get into this, it's not just going to be Dagon versus Jogo and Hanami. That's not how we've been doing the Curse Technique Tournament up until now. We are going to have them just be random disaster spirits, and they're all going to be around the same level of power, just the techniques and, well, stuff they can do are going to be different. So before anybody goes down into the comments and says, well, what about terrain advantages? Okay, I've already thought about this, and we have a way to where everybody can have their own nice little area that they like to be in, and we can all be close by each other, and it can make sense. All right, we're on an island. We got the little earth spirit, the spirit of green stuff. They have all their trees, their plant life, their animal friends. Can they do anything with animals, or was it just plant life? But either way, doesn't matter. They have a whole big buttload of just green stuff on the island. There, they can have fun with that stuff. Typically, on an island, you will then have a beach followed by the ocean. Now, I get it, the spirit of hot stuff, like really sand, a beach, like that's just barely qualifies. You know what? I'm going to do them a favor. We're going to light like 100 different gigantic bonfires, all right? And we'll throw a bunch of rocks in them. And that'll be the lava, okay? So you got fire, lava, magma, whatever you want to call it. They got a bunch of stuff there. And then obviously we know the spirit of wet stuff is going to be in the ocean on the other side. Everybody has their own advantage in their own area. But this is a fight. Decent chance you're going to have to go into somebody else's area. Probably not going to be too fun, but I don't know what else to tell you. Either way, getting into this whole Royale, this 1v1v1, this three-way, I think it's pretty safe to say that the spirit of fire has the highest destructive capacity. We have seen the spirit of fire in the series throw meteors, okay? I don't, like, the spirit of water gets like a crap ton, like they can make a meteor size worth of water. I'll take a meteor size worth of water to the face before I take a meteor to the face. Earth spirit, they can make a meteor-sized tree limb. I will take that to the face before a meteor that is like encased in fire and magma and no, okay? I think they definitely have the highest destructive capacity. I think the water spirit, because Dagon, which they're all just water spirits, the name doesn't really matter. It could be the three of them, just say they're all at the same power, doesn't matter. The water spirit, Dagon, in the series, was touted for its near boundless HP. It was just extremely, extremely tough. It is the toughest, it has the most endurance out of any of them. I know it didn't look like it had a lot of endurance when Toji came in as a puppet of death, and it's puppet of death Toji. What do you want? Everybody's going to look like they don't have a lot of endurance against him. Sorry. Either way. Most endurance goes to the water, most destructive capacity goes to the fire. I think the earth spirit actually gets a pretty nice middle ground. And on top of that middle ground that they get, they also have techniques like, I don't know, putting your hand on the ground and absorbing all of the life in the area. Yeah, pretty useful, pretty helpful. I'm pretty sure if they want to just and heal up real quick, they can kind of technically sort of do that. They also have pretty good debuff techniques with those little buds they can shoot out and hit people with. Yeah, the stronger the cursed energy is, the more damage that does, the more they suck out. A disaster spirit kind of made of a crap ton of cursed energy, those things are going to be pretty effective. So yeah, the earth spirit definitely isn't falling behind by hitting that middle ground. They definitely have interesting little techniques that we've seen that can help them keep up. Now, even though I did mention that every spirit is going to get their own terrain to have their advantage in, we do need to talk about those terrain advantages and how good they are. Now, the earth spirit, we already mentioned, their terrain advantage, they can use it themselves. Like, it can directly benefit them specifically. Just absorb the stuff. Great, awesome. However, their terrain is very, very vulnerable to the fire spirit. So the fire spirit, if it is smart, will start the fight off by not targeting the earth spirit, but by targeting the terrain around them, especially if they are aware that that spirit can do the whole like sucky sucky thing. This does cause problems for the earth spirit, but this isn't where we really need to pay attention to things. We need to look at the other side, because let's be honest, the water spirit has by far the best terrain advantage. They can literally hide in their terrain. They can just hang out over on the other side, while the other two kind of have to deal with each other. What are the other spirits going to do? What is the fire spirit going to do? Jump into the water and try to fight the water spirit in the water? I doubt it. That sounds like a horrible idea. You can say cursed spirits can just hold their breath. It's fine. You can say they don't even need to breathe air. They probably don't. So yeah, it's not like I can't just like swim around under there with them. No, it's I'm at a severe disadvantage if I go down there. And he's already really tough as it is. So yeah, this gives the water spirit a huge advantage, which, if I'm being honest, I think it actually kind of needs. The water spirit, it doesn't have these insanely destructive capabilities of the fire spirit. Not only is it dropping meteors, like I said, make a meteor-sized mass of water if you want, but this thing is a fully just solid piece of burning rock, whatever it is. It's catching everything on fire. All of their techniques are catching everything on fire, burning things to cinder. I mean, the fire spirit is destruction incarnate. That's what it is. Water spirit isn't really keeping up with that kind of stuff. We haven't seen a water spirit in the series, Dagon in the series. We haven't seen any of these weird kind of debuff abilities or buffing abilities that we've seen from somebody like the earth spirit, like Hanami, being able to absorb the earth and use those buds and things. It's kind of just tough. It's got a lot of HP. It's durable. But to get down to the bottom of this 1v1v1, this three-way, this disaster royale, we got to take a look back at that other fight that we started with between the fire and earth spirit. Like I said, the terrain of the earth spirit is incredibly vulnerable to the fire spirit, and this causes even more of a problem when you think about the fact that the earth spirit can and probably will use its own terrain to buff itself. It having that taken away from itself, and the fact that fire is probably not its first adversary of choice in the first place, leads me to believe that this will boil down to water versus fire. Now, this is where all of this terrain advantage and hiding away and letting the other two fight really comes in handy, because like I said, destructive capacity goes to the fire guy. But he's in worse shape now. He's used up more energy, taken more shots. And the water guy already had endurance over him in the first place. So this is tough, because once again, now fire is in the spot of earth. It has a terrain that is very vulnerable to the water's domain. Terrain, domain, whatever. Either way, very vulnerable, and it's not going up against its first opponent of choice. Fire doesn't really like to go against water. Just it doesn't. I don't know what to tell you. We've all been through this. We all understand this by now. So yeah, after everything's said and done, fire gets done dealing with the earth spirit because it kind of has to. Water gets to hide away in its terrain, to some extent at least. I'm sure it will have to engage a little bit, but not as much as the other two. The other two that are completely exposed right next to each other. It doesn't have to do that. So after the two of them get done fighting, water gets to join in, turn this into a battle of attrition, and it can kind of wear down the fire spirit by, well, being water and being durable. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little bonus round. If you take the terrain advantages out of it, I'm probably just going to give it to the fire spirit. The destructive capacity of that thing is just absolutely insane. I get it. Yeah, huge amount of water, and water can be very effective if used properly. I mean, look at a water jet. That thing can cut through all kinds of stuff. But, sorry, meteor. Yeah, we've seen Hanami in the series make gigantic, and I mean gigantic limbs. And I'll be honest, I'll take the big water to the face before I take the limb to the face. Then I'll take the limb to the face before I take the gigantic limb-sized meteor that is also on fire and just as solid as said limb to the face. That's the last choice out of any of these things. That is the last choice I am taking. That fire spirit is too destructive. On top of all that, like I've said before, it's fire. It continues to burn. It is more destructive. Like, you lay the stick next to you, the stick doesn't hurt. You lay the puddle next to you, the puddle doesn't hurt. You put the fire next to you, the fire can hurt. You gotta step away from it. It is just destructive. So, terrain advantages, everybody playing it smart, using them to the best of their ability, I'm gonna give it to water. just kind of the best terrain advantage, and that really comes in handy when you think about the water spirit being durable, not having all of these super destructive or super helpful buff slash debuff abilities. Kind of just lucked out, I'm going to be honest. But no advantages. Fire's taking it, smacking the other two out. It's too destructive. I'm sorry. Either way, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Go down in the comments, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time in the final.